On average, you'll have to wait 31 days to see an OBGYN. And if you're dealing with an infection or outbreak, you know you need care fast. That's where WISP comes in. Connect with a U.S. licensed provider online and pick up safe, effective treatment at your local pharmacy that same day. Plus, get birth control and more delivered in all 50 states. Take control with comprehensive sexual and reproductive care, all from your phone. WISP. That's hellowisp.com. The waiting room can wait.
Welcome to the No Guilt Mom podcast. I'm your host, Joanne Crone, joined here by the brilliant Bree Tucker.
Why, hello, buddy. How are you? Joanne, we
Yes,
did it again today.
We did it again.
We did
We're
it
both
again,
in
guys.
olive green tank tops.
Okay, yes. Green has been our color lately. But guys, I'm not kidding you. Joanne, we need to come up with a reel of the amount of times that we hop onto a video call with each other, or we end up meeting up in person for whatever reason, and we are wearing the same outfit, just different shades.
It's true. That's true. I think I got on video with you and I'm like, what the hell? Well, how did we do this again?
I know! Like, we are both wearing sleeveless green tops. I have on white shorts. What are you wearing?
Blue jeans.
Okay, so slightly different there.
I have to check. What am I wearing? Oh, no, they're blue jeans. Yes, they're good.
Yes.
Nothing. I'm wearing nothing. No, okay.
Yeah. Well, okay, wait.
It's a different kind of podcast. Anyway.
Okay. Off subject here for another moment, guys, but still related to the clothing thing. And you said, like, what am I wearing on bottom? Yesterday, we were going to go see my parents in the evening, like just pop over for a little high because everybody was off work in the evening. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that never happens with my whole family of four. So we were supposed to go at a certain time. Something got miscommunicated. Audrey went over early. And once we figured out Audrey was on her way there, we're like, crap, we got to go. She's going to beat us. And then it won't be a surprise because she'll get there before us. So I'm screaming and yelling, Robert, let's go. Come on, Miguel, everybody, let's get in the car. We're driving there, actually. And somebody asked me for something. I'm like, I didn't have time to get it. I was in a rush. I go, as a matter of fact, and I look down, I'm like, I'm still wearing sweatpants. Thank you, guys. I had on a nice top because we had a podcast interview, and I was still wearing sweat shorts because I didn't have time to get changed. So my point to be is that people, most of the time, I'm wearing sweat shorts.
Okay, this is actually a really good tie into what we're talking about today.
Okay, let's go.
We are talking about, are you addicted to being needed? And what you're going to get from this episode is you're going to be able to spot the signs of overfunctioning, and you're going to learn how to say yes without becoming everyone's personal rescue item. So talking about your wearing sweatpants, looking at what happened before you got in the car. What was going on before you got in the car?
I was just trying to get everybody together and the hell out of the house. And I was so mad because my daughter was mad. I just had too much going on. I was trying to maintain everybody. And as you said, I am 100% addicted to being needed.
Trying to maintain everybody, trying to keep everybody under control, and forgetting the sweatpants are on. I think that's an appropriate metaphor going into today's episode. If you could relate to that, where you are trying to get everyone else's shiznits together and you totally forget about your own.
Yes.
Yes, this episode's for you. Let's get on with the show. There is a tendency for moms in particular, like I saw this with my own mom. I actually fell into it as a mom myself, where you pay attention to what everybody else needs. And those needs are so overwhelming that you put yourself on the back burner and you get lost in the process.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. I do this with pushing the exercise routines I have planned. I will completely cancel them from my schedule if somebody else needs something. I did this free for this coming Thursday. My daughter has Meet the Teacher. I canceled a girls' night and I canceled Pilates because last minute I was told that my daughter wanted me there at 5:30 because she was presenting as student government. And I think that's something that a lot of moms do. Just take things off our calendar like that.
Oh, we 100% do. It's interesting. I wish I could remember all the details right now. A little nod. Thank you, perimenopause, for the brain fog. But I do know Miguel and I were just having this conversation like 2 days ago. And I was saying something about how I need to take care of everybody. I need to have a role. And before he even got to say anything, and we can thank my mother for that. I love my mom, but we all know that my mom feels like if she's not needed. It feels like she's trying to find the point where she is needed. And there's nothing wrong with that as a whole. But like you said, the problem is so many of us, and I love you, Mom, but you do this too. You completely negate the things that you need in order to make other people happy.
Mhm.
And then you are unhappy and you don't know how to fix it. You got to reach deep into that psyche and you got to tackle that. I'm important. But
Yes.
I'm getting ahead.
Well, I mean, let's just talk about the supermom narrative, shall we?
Yes,
Because
we
I
shall.
think that is something that is thrown at women, and we're given all of these compliments for, oh my gosh, you're such a super mom. Oh my gosh, you're such like a great mom. All of these things and all of this praise for putting ourselves last, for being able to do all of the things without any needs of our own. Oh, you stayed up late sewing things for the PTA or painting bats for the dance recital or
Oh gosh, I just thought of a ton of stories with that. But yeah. Oh, you just bought art supplies for the entire class and made cute little like bags as an end of year gift for being an art teacher volunteer.
yeah.
The stuff that we do, it's a lot. And I can think of it like we even had cancel plans. We'll rearrange everything because we think that somebody else needs us there. And this is what we want you to hear. Physically needs your body there. So you ditch your plans. You ditch what you wanted to do because you feel like you're needed somewhere else.
I want to add a little bit to that because I think my reasons are different. I think that I am somehow a bad person if I do not ditch my plans. So it's not that I think I'm needed, but if I don't show up, then I'm therefore bad and it's shameful.
Well, I think that's the second half for some people, right? Like, okay, podcast land. I'm just curious. How many of you like feel like you are physically needed to be places because you're a mom, your kids need you. So you give up things to be there for them. I always took a job that I did not take the career ladder path. We'll say that. It was very clear with my first husband that his work schedule was his work schedule and you did not mess with it. So if the kids needed anything, it had to come on me. So I went for the path of jobs that made it so I could be there for my kids. True story here, people. In a job interview, I actually had, and this was a job interview that I was like, they came to me for, right? They were like, oh, Brie, we'd really love to interview you for this position. And it was at this large company, actually, that my husband now works at. And they had pursued me for a job. I went in for an interview. The very last question, Joanne. Well, what are you looking for right now, Brie, in your career moving forward? What would you like to get out of this job? Do you know what my answer was? Oh, I'm kind of looking for something that's a little flexible that I could like leave whenever I need to go see my kids if they have like a program at school or if I like need to take them on like a field trip. And they were just like, their jaws had to be picked up off the floor. Needless to say, Brie did not get that position. It was so strong and ingrained in me that I had to be there for my kids. And I think I didn't realize it, but what you just said was true. It was a narrative in my head that I'm a bad person if I'm not.
Yeah, that's the total narrative that goes through my head all the time. Bad person if I'm not. That's why I wouldn't say no to canceling all the plans on Thursday, that I was like, oh, I have to. I have to. And it's funny because we just talked with a psychologist yesterday about rephrasing those I have to thoughts with I feel I have to thoughts and putting a little distance between yourself and thoughts.
And I think that it's a big piece. Like we need to rewrite the narrative in our head that we can still be a good mom. We could still be a good person. We could still show love and not have to drop everything and be there for everybody every time they call.
That's interesting. That's a great mantra. We could still show love. We could still be valuable, and we don't have to drop everything to be there. Because you know what my husband's first inclination was when he heard about the 5:30 start time that we had to be at school? He was like, this is the first I've heard about this. Like, instead of being like, oh no, I have to cancel everything. Oh no, I can't do that. And like panic overwhelmed me when I heard about it. And
Yeah.
he went to kind of annoyance and anger, being like, no one told me.
I love that because I feel like that response, well, like you said, anger, annoyance, whatever, that response clearly articulated something.
Mhm.
I already have plans. I
Yes.
didn't realize this was going to happen.
And my plans are important, just like these are. Equal weight. I think that's something
Yes.
that men have going for them in their narrative, in their heads, that we
Yeah.
need to work on in ours, that our plans that are already set have equal weight to whatever we're being asked to do. So,
Yep.
coming up next, we're going to talk about this cost of always being the helper and how it might affect you and the people around you right after this.
Let's be real, guys. Money fights are the worst. And trying to have a calm, civilized conversation about money, yeah. And don't even get me started on the feelings of shame and guilt that so many of us women feel around spending.
Oh, I know, but Monarch Money changes that. It takes out the unknown factors that can cause those fights and feelings. You can track shared and individual accounts, set goals together, and keep those money check ins drama free. And I love that you can even loop in a financial advisor or tax pro without paying any extra.
So, no more guessing, hiding, fights, or just hoping it works out. Monarch Money makes it easier to be on the same page.
Get control of your overall finances with Monarch Money. Use code NOGUILT at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code NOGUILT.
If there's one thing I know as a parent and early educator, it's that kids crave structure and not always the same kind for every kid. I had one who thrived in a back to basics setting and another who struggled every step of the way.
Yes, kids are different. That's where K-12 powered schools shine. They give your child a daily schedule, certified teachers, and tech-powered tools that keep them focused while letting them learn at their own pace in their own place.
And beyond those lessons, K-12 helps students build real-world skills and confidence. They have online clubs, social events, and learning experiences that are built around your student.
So join the more than 3 million families who have been served by K-12 and empower your student to reach their full potential now. Go to k12.com/ngm today to find a tuition-free K-12 powered school near you and enroll now. That's the letter K, the number 12.com/ngm. k12.com/ngm.
New Vitamin Water Zero Sugar Pineapple Passion Fruit is packed with vitamins, just like the amount of peas we packed in that sentence. It's packed like your tote bag, the one you stole from your ex, or your overpriced half a studio apartment, or extra rushed rush hour traffic. Packed like your calendar, triple booked at 5, of course. Grab a Vitamin Water. Did we mention it's packed with vitamins?
Before the break, we talked about why moms become addicted to being needed. Basically, it's how we were trained to be. It's what we saw in our moms. It's what society's told us, the attitude we need to take care of kids. So now let's get into a little bit of the cost and how it's affecting us and the people around us.
Right, because I think a lot of us roll with that narrative that, well, it doesn't bother anybody else but me.
Yeah.
Right.
Or it doesn't bother anyone and this is just how it is. That narrative is also hard.
I guess what I'm trying to say is like, if I drop everything and I am available 100% to everybody else in my family, it doesn't hurt you. It doesn't hurt him. It doesn't hurt her. It only hurts me. But no, we are here to tell you. Nay, I say.
It does, because the first thing that happens is the burnout and resentment. When you have resentment that's building up too, it comes out in places that you don't want it to come out. Now, every time before I do something, before I say yes, or if I see like a task that needs to be done. For instance, I was in the kitchen this morning. My husband's job is to put away all the hand wash dishes that my daughter does. He's supposed to put them away after they've been drying on the counter. That's his job.
Yeah.
I was looking at the hand wash dishes and I'm like, I almost reached for it. And I'm like, oh, I'm so tired of like talking to him about these dishes, or I'm so tired of seeing them there. I'm just going to do it myself. And I stopped and I'm like, Joanne, do you want to feel resentful and mad at your husband? And I'm like,
Right?
no, I don't. I'm just going to let it stay here. I'm going to let it stay here. I am not going to quote unquote help, because my helping is not doing anything for him or for me. It is actually probably going to worsen our relationship, because I'm going to be spiteful and be like, why don't you do the same for me when you see things I have to do?
Exactly. I was just thinking about the story I shared a while ago when Miguel was supposed to help me with dinner and I kept yelling at him that he wasn't chopping the vegetables I wasn't yelling. I was helping
Yes.
by saying, oh, is that the 1/2-inch cubes like it says here in the recipe?
Yeah.
Is that the what? Right? And thank God my husband's patient enough that he just like put the knife down and was like, am I helping or am I not? Am I cooking or am I not? And I'm like, you're right. I'm sorry.
You're right.
I've got to go take myself over there.
It's also like different ways that we choose to help. I think there's a way that I tend to want to butt in to a problem between two people where it doesn't involve me at all, thinking that I am helping them through the problem. And I'll give you an example of this. This happened this morning. Last night, my son was like, did Dad buy Gatorade when he went shopping? And I'm like, no, he didn't buy Gatorade. Why don't you text him and tell him? Because Josh was still at work. And so he texted him and they had this whole conversation that I was not a part of, which is great. Then this morning, my son comes into my room and he's like, Dad didn't go shopping last night, did he? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm not aware of it. Did he say he would? And he's like, yes, he said he would go shopping. And I was about to pick up my phone and text my husband and be like, hey, Eric said you would go shopping last night and there's no Gatorade for him. And Gatorade, just to let you guys know, it is something that my son takes medicine with. This is why the Gatorade's important.
It's the only thing that can cover the flavor. Yeah.
It's an important part.
Yeah.
And I realized that I would have been inserting myself into a situation that didn't involve me. I would have been taking on something that was already being talked about between my husband and son that I just didn't need to butt in. Instead, I coached my son. I'm like, oh, probably forgot. I just follow up. Keep that dad accountable. So now my son gets to do that.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. And I love that because like you're listening to that story and people might be going like, well, he came to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. But at any point, even if he did say, I don't want to text Dad. I want you to text him because, no, I don't need to be in this. I wouldn't say it that way, but right? Like that's what we need you to hear in your head. No, I don't need to be in this.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be a total refusal either of their request. A lot of times when my kids come to me and they're like, I just don't know what to say. And I'm like, well, I can help with that. I can help coach you on exactly what to say. And that's a way I could be helpful to you if you want it. And I always say, if you want it. And then usually they're 50% of the time, they're like, no, I'm okay. And 50% of the time, they're like, okay, sure.
Yeah.
But it's offering to help instead of inserting yourself in the helping.
Right. Because when you are always the fixer, always the one who is quote unquote needed, then you're setting everybody else up in your family to come to you anytime they have an issue because you're the fixer, right? And B, you're continuing this narrative that they are not the one who fixes things. That's not their role. And 2, that I'm trying to not say it, but I'm just going to be blunt.
Be blunt.
That it's the mom, it's the wife who takes care of everything. And that's a really strong message you're sending to your kids, boy or girl, whatever. You're sending them a very big message that it's that role and you're going to just continue it on. I don't know what else to say.
It's that overfunctioner versus underfunctioner in our relationship.
Yes.
When there is an overfunctioner and somebody who takes over all of the tasks, it kind of leads the way for an underfunctioner who just sits there and does nothing and lets the overfunctioner take over because it just makes their life easier. I actually have another example of this from the show I'm obsessed with right now, Shrinking.
I'm on episode 4. I'm not nearly as far as you.
This isn't a big plot point. It is just something
Okay.
that happens. I'm not going to be doing any spoilers by saying this, but there's a next door neighbor character. I forget her character's name, but it's played by the actress Krista Miller. And she starts a food truck with Sean. And Sean is very complicated story if you don't watch Shrinking. Just say that Sean is someone living next door. He had a hard past. He's a former vet. And she starts a food truck with him. She finances it with him. And Sean's dad comes by, and his dad is like, oh, I always wanted to do this together. And she hears that side of the conversation. Like, she hears the conversation, but she's not involved in it.
Yeah.
So take it 2 steps later, and she's like, Sean, I have some good news for you. I sold my share of the food truck to your dad so that you could do it together. And he was like, what? You didn't even talk to me. And I think that illustrates the role of an overfunctioner. When you're stepping into things that you think you're helping and you think you're doing a good job, but you're actually creating more chaos and just general discomfort for everyone else instead of actually helping.
Yeah. It's not easy. We're here saying to you, like, listen, Joanne and I struggle with this on a regular basis. Like I already said, I am really good at being needed. I'm really good at convincing myself I am needed by everybody at all the time. Every week, my therapist and I are working on this. And that's what the questions come back to. Like, is that what you want everybody to think, that you're the only one that can fix things? And it's like, no, but I do like being needed.
Everybody has a role in fixing things, and you are so much more than the help you give. In fact, sometimes I just want to beat you over the head when you try to help, and I just want you to relax instead. I'm like, go over there and get a drink.
I'm not good at that. That is true. I am not good at just letting things go. So, I mean, and a lot of people have this problem. I mean, my first husband, he had his boundaries. He knew his boundaries right away. It had no problem, did not feel like he was needed or had no problem saying no. My husband now, he's really great at seeing me when I'm doing that and trying to bring it to my attention in a loving way.
Yeah.
And that does help me kind of stop a little. I'm a lot happier. I'm not trying to fix everything 24/7.
I was just having a conversation with my sister on this, and she said that her partner also has called her on a lot of the stuff she does and made her aware of it. And I think like it helps when you have someone in your life where you're being made aware of the things you're doing, whether a therapist helps with that. We do that in balance all the time in coaching, just becoming aware of thought patterns. That's something like actually our members tell me all the time. They're like, I wasn't aware I was doing that, or I didn't see it that way. And just that awareness, it causes so much change. And as you said, it makes you happier too. And you realize that that's a false narrative that you've been telling yourself, that when you drop, the whole world doesn't fall apart. It's actually better.
Yeah. So you're not selfish for stepping back. You're actually being smarter, being more aware, and providing a better expectation and narrative for everybody else in your family.
Absolutely.
Going forward.
And we are going to give you 3 boundaries to break this needing to be needed cycle. And it's coming out right after this.
This episode is brought to you by Marshalls, where you never have to compromise between quality and price. The buyers at Marshalls hustle hard, working to bring you great deals on brand name and designer pieces. Because Marshalls believes everyone deserves access to the good stuff. Visit a Marshalls store near you or shop online at marshalls.com.
Abercrombie Kids is bringing the ultimate first day energy back to school. It all starts with on-trend outfits for that front door photo shoot. Plus, the coolest tees, shorts, and jeans to take them through the rest of the year. Get them ready for their close-up and keep them comfy too. Make this grade their best one yet. Shop all things back to school, in-store, online, and in the app.
When kids don't play, they grow up without creativity. They'll try to blend in and wear chinos, or worse, polyester chinos. Good thing Gushers, Fruit by the Foot, and Fruit Roll-Ups are made to be played with. you better be playing.
So we've talked about why we get in this cycle. We've talked about the cost of being in the cycle. So now, hopefully, you're a bit ready to hear how to get out of the cycle. And if you're not ready for this yet, you could just go listen to another one of our episodes. But I don't encourage that. Just stay with us here.
I know. So I am excited about the way we're presenting this because instead of telling you necessarily new things to do, these are kind of more about taking things off your plates.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like we're telling you to do more stuff, but we're not. So I want to be crystal clear on that.
I'm big on that. That is something that I think we here at No Guilt Mom could say, as a brand, that's what we do. We're telling you to stop doing stuff instead of to do more stuff or to do it in a different way. You could just completely stop. So our 3 boundaries to break the need cycle. Lead us into it, Bree. What's number 1?
Okay. The first one, and this is my big one that I suck at. So guys, I work on this all the time. You don't need to answer immediately.
How so? Yeah.
Right? We talked about that last month on a podcast episode about how when somebody asks you to do something, that sounds very interesting. Let me check my calendar and get back to you. It doesn't have to be that formal, but seriously, buy yourself some time. Because I would put money down that the majority of us mothers, when somebody asks us to do something, especially in our family, we tend to go towards, yeah, sure, whatever. Actually, I just had that last night. And all the craziness, my daughter asked me to get her something. And I went, yeah, sure, whatever. And then 5 minutes later, I'm like, wait, no, I can't do that. And then I had to text her back and be like, no, I can't do that. And then she got so upset. Well, why did you say you could? Feelings were high. That's not the normal response you get. But yeah, you really need to give yourself the buffer time to think.
I've been in that situation too, where I've said yes just to make somebody else happy. I inherently knew that me saying yes would make them happy.
Okay.
And they would be overjoyed. I would say yes. And they'd be really, really excited. And then it took some time to remove myself from that situation and some thinking time. And it's oh, I don't want to do this.
It's almost wait, what did I just say yes to? Crap.
It's almost kind of tied to being a people pleaser, wanting to see that reaction in other people, not wanting to disappoint them. So your automatic reaction without even thinking. I mean, I don't think it's a logical thought process kind of thing when you say yes to something right away. It's a reaction.
Exactly. And if you're wondering if I do this, think of the last time you said yes to something and that when you actually had time to think out everything that was involved in that yes, you thought, oh, crap.
Yeah.
If you did, then you need to start buying time. So you need to stop saying yes right away and just start working on sounds good. Let me think about it.
Yeah, I also have to say that is a process to even remember to say that. So give yourself a lot of self-compassion if you don't say that. I mean, even in our working world, there's someone we're working with now who is backing out of commitment that they said yes to because it's just a time issue. And it's a lot of work and a lot of investment of time. So just know that this happens out everywhere. People saying yes to things that they haven't thought through thoroughly.
Yeah. It happens to all of us. So it's a great habit, right? It's a great habit.
It's something I need to practice much more.
Okay. What's number 2? What's the second thing that they need to do or stop doing?
Redirect instead of rescuing. So this is something that I did this morning with, instead of rescuing my son for texting that I would take over and text my husband and get the Gatorade for him, I just helped redirect him into additional action he could take to help solve his problem. Something that would also help him in the long run. He's going to come across people who say they'll do things and just forget. So how do you follow up? How do you still make sure it's done and keep that relationship good with the other person? You redirect them and you help them along their way.
And I think that's the key. Because again, a lot of this is a mindset shift, right? Because if you are addicted to being needed, if you feel like you need to be needed to have the purpose in your family, this is your role, this is what you do, you need to also understand that the more you keep doing that, the more you are robbing other family members from having the opportunity of problem solving, of getting through it, of learning those life skills. And like you just said, I think that was huge. Instead of me fixing the problem right now, I am giving my kid the skills because, yes, in life, this is going to happen again. Someone's going to forget something and they're going to need to follow through with them and they're going to want to save the relationship.
Yeah. There's a component of ego tied to this as well, because
Yeah.
when you first start using this and you redirect, you are going to feel like you are not doing the most to help somebody. And that's going to hurt. It's
And
going to
someone
cause you
might
some
even
discomfort.
say that, right?
Yeah.
And someone might even say that out of anger.
Oh, yeah. My daughter has told me before, like, I've taught my kids how to make their own lunches and find their own food for a very long time. I'm like, hey, if you're hungry, here's what we have and here's what you could do. So my daughter the other day was obviously jealous of her brother. And she told me, "Ah, you always made me get my own food and you did not take me out to breakfast. I always had to find everything on my own." And I'm like, okay, this isn't fair right now.
Typical first child.
Typical
I had
first
to do it all.
child. Yeah, I would say I do the same. But I mean, people are going to throw it back in your face, including your kids. But just know that you are doing it for their greater good down the line. My daughter makes her own breakfast great. She's packing yogurt and raspberries today for her breakfast and putting in some protein. And I'm like, who got you to do that? Oh, it was me.
Right?
But I won't ever get acknowledgement. No.
Okay. And the other piece of that is if I was the one making breakfast for my kids, it would be whatever I can pop in the microwave or the toaster oven because I am not awake for a good hour after I get up in the morning. I'm still like, I'm really zombified. So I'm glad that my kids have the ability to do that and that could come up with their own things because yogurt with fruit and what? No, I would never thought that.
Even if they throw it back in your face that you did not do enough for them, just remember that's coming. It's okay though.
Yeah, know that it will pay off over time. Okay, and number 3, and this is a huge one that so many of us, I'm still struggling with myself.
Yeah.
Making space for your own needs.
Yes.
And making sure that you have that space for your own needs before you start taking care of everybody else's.
It's hard at first because you don't even know what your own needs are.
I mean, most of us, our needs are taking care of our family, raising our kids in a safe and keeping them safe and comfortable, being a good spouse, a good partner.
And those aren't your needs. Those aren't them.
Yeah,
those are
exactly.
Those aren't.
Your needs might also be like being really awesome at work and everything too. But no, that's not what that means.
Yeah, there are things that you personally need to feel your best. So things like sleep, good nutrition, exercise, alone time,
socialization.
Yeah, socialization, lack of sensory stimulation, not being touched is a need. All of these things that take you from 0 to 50 in like the anger and resentment range, those are your needs are the things that prevent you from going to that like huge reaction because your body's calm, your mind is calm, everything is good. That's what your needs are. Whatever helps you get to that calm and relaxed and joyful state.
And it looks different for everybody. The amount of time needed is different for everybody. How you go about it, different for everybody because every family is different things that you're trying to do. And I can tell you right now, if you're listening to this episode and you're inspired and you're like, that's it, I'm going to do it. I'm going to stop saying yes to everything. I'm going to like redirect everything and I'm going to make plans for myself. I love that enthusiasm. Also, I want you to know this isn't the easiest journey. So it'll take a little bit of time to do them. So Joanne, like you said earlier, give yourself some grace and also find people that are interested in doing the same thing as you.
Yes.
And what I mean by that, find your people that are also having the same mindset.
And it could be hard to find those people, but we have a community full of them. If you want to come and check that out, it's at balanceformoms.com/go. That's where you can find all info on our balance community, and you can join us in there. This is where you make the transformation from feeling like you need to do everything for everyone and you're the only one holding everything together to actually feeling supported by your family, to having your own goals, and to finding what exactly your own needs are, because that in itself can be a process that we've seen so many women go through in their balance journey. So go to that link, balanceformoms.com/go. You'll find it in the show notes too. We put it all there for you.
I want to just be clear. Like, I'm not saying that you can't do all this. That is why we did this podcast episode. It's because you can. And these 3 little steps really do help. But if you would like to have a team, a group of people cheering you on that have the same mindset, we have that. We have that available. But you can do this. You can.
You can.
You don't have to be everything to everyone all the time.
Nope, you do not. So with that, remember, the best mom is a happy mom, not one who does things for everybody else and puts her own needs last. So take care of you, and we'll talk to you later.
Thanks for stopping by.
If you'd like to support the show further, you can share episodes with your loved ones, leave a positive review, or follow us on social media at No Guilt Mom. You could also show your love by visiting our amazing podcast sponsors. We have a link in the show notes.